The dark side of spirituality that no one talks about. Today, I'm exposing what most spiritual teachers won't tell you, which is that spirituality is about self-mastery and not just about bypassing reality. If you've been on your own spiritual journey for a while, you already know that it's not just about rainbows and unicorns and love and light and enlightenment. It's about way more than that. It goes way deeper. And yes, indeed, there are many amazing and light aspects of spirituality. But there is also a dark side that no one really dares to talk about. The traps, the illusions, and just the fact that people sometimes get lost on their path instead of evolving. And those traps that we can get caught in on our path, they are very real. Let's talk about these traps a little bit more, and let's start with the first one, which is the illusion of high vibes only. Most possibly, if you've been opening up to the spiritual scene for a little while, you might also have encountered those teachers that are love and light only, that always seem to be in an enlightened state, that always seem to be in a good mood. But to me, that is just so fake. That is simply not the reality. And yes, we can have all of these beautiful moments when we feel amazing, enlightened, free, and just vibing with the universe. But in fact, we cannot be doing that at all times. We are embodied as human beings, and we are meant to experience all of the emotions that humans can possibly experience. We are not made to just experience love and light and forever bliss. I mean, sometimes I would wish for the world to be like that, because it's been in a constant state of pain for the past, I don't know even how many years. But the fact is that we can find spiritual contentment, spiritual enlightenment, and beautiful spiritual moments. I say moments. And then we enjoy these, and we take these and use these moments as fuel for our everyday life. Good vibes and positive energy only is so toxic. It is not possible to be vibing high only. So don't ever let any teacher or guru or whatever tell you that, because this would mean bypassing reality, real emotions, and also the experience of the incarnation of being a human. Whenever we deny or avoid our reality, or whenever we suppress our emotions, we can get so stuck in life because our soul wanted to have all of these experiences so that it can grow, so that we as humans can evolve into a better version of ourselves. And some of these roadblocks that we experience, some of these obstacles in life, they were designed by the universe for us to learn how to overcome them, to integrate the lessons of what we've learned through doing that, and then to embody this new, wiser version of ourselves. The truth is that darkness is a part of our journey, it's a part of our growth. We cannot just grow in the light. Even a plant needs the darkness of the soil and the earth that it takes roots in. So in order to grow as human beings, we need to embrace both the shadows and the light within ourselves and also in the world around us. Spirituality is about integration and not about avoiding things and avoiding reality. This is about real work that we need to be doing, and not just about pretending to be so happy and so delighted at all times. Trap number 2 is being the eternal seeker and never actually becoming the next version of yourself. I mean, there is so much information available to us, so many sources that we can draw our wisdom from, so many teachers that we can learn from. And while all of that is amazing and beautiful and necessary, sometimes we can get lost in trying to learn more and feeling the need to always become better and more and evolve more and do more. Whereas in fact, we should be integrating, we should be resting into ourselves and try to listen and tune into the truth within. We can become so addicted to learning and searching and trying to become the next version of ourselves without ever actually embodying it. So it doesn't matter how much wisdom you try to learn through your mind, through reading books, through taking courses or whatever it is, it's worth nothing if you don't integrate and then embody it. Like, for example, I could tell you a lot about listening to your intuition and how you can learn to do that through your body. But if you don't actually practice listening to your intuition through your body, you won't ever be able to feel it. There are some things that simply cannot be shown or taught. These are things that need to be awakened within yourself, that you need to tap into through becoming, for example, still enough to access these deeper layers of yourself, because you are so much more than your body. Your body is just the vessel for your soul. So if you have read all of these books and taken all of these courses and still feel lost on your path, this might be the reason why, that you are not embodying your beautiful wisdom that you have. Like I always say, we have our beautiful minds and our beautiful bodies and also our beautiful intuition to work with all of that. Together they are limitless, but just working with one or the other won't take you very far in life, especially if you intend to evolve spiritually. So instead of chasing endless manifestation techniques and trying out one thing after the other, try to focus on the simple things. Like I said, for example, coming back to yourself. It's the most simple thing to do, not always easy, but it's very simple. Like, for example, I love to just take a breath, and it's like sitting back down into your own body. It's like feeling all of the energy drop back into your body, calling yourself back home from all the corners of the universe. We are so scattered in our everyday lives. Our attention, our mind, our energy is just scattered everywhere. And we need to call all of that back and sit back down into our own body, into our own presence, and soak it all up. And from there, we can move. It takes a little bit of practice sometimes, but it's so worth it, I promise you that. So once again, instead of staying caught up in a loop of chasing the next technique or chasing the next astrology or tarot reading, try to come back to yourself instead, calm down, and focus on deep integration and embodiment of your wisdom, not just seeking knowledge. If you are constantly waiting for the right time or the divine timing because the astrologer on TikTok told you to do so, this won't take you far in life. You need to actually tune into your own wisdom and check in if what you see and what you consume with your mind is actually true to you, and if it's actual guidance or if it's just another thing to put on your shelf within your mind. Trap number 3 is the trap of being caught up in a spiritual identity. Sometimes spirituality can really inflate the ego instead of dissolving it, which is the goal for many people. But the more dissolved our ego is for some people, the more they think that they are better than others. And keep in mind that we are never better than others just because we know something or think that we know something more than others. This is just our own personal journey. Spiritual growth and enlightenment is something for us to embody. It is something that we are supposed to experience on our own path. This doesn't necessarily mean that others also should be knowing what you know or embodying what you embody just because this is your truth. And it sometimes can be so hard to accept the fact that we are just different people on different paths. And even if we are really happy on our path and we want to share this happiness and we can see that other people are running down a cliff or something and we want to stop them from doing so, sometimes the other person just needs to make that experience and we cannot save them all. We just cannot. So instead of trying to control other people with the knowledge that you have or with what you think is the truth, try to lean back and just focus on your own evolution, focus on your own spiritual growth, and focus on becoming a better version of yourself. And this is how you actually influence other people, just because you are radiating your embodied energy and not because you want to push some reality or truth onto other people. True spirituality can be felt within you, and this is not a mind or an ego thing. And it is so true that the more you know or think you know, the more you will also understand that you know nothing at all. Like, for me, it is like that. The more I know that I actually don't know anything. And I'm okay with that. I'm just learning and evolving and growing, and that's the purpose of life anyway. So once again, instead of using your own spiritual beliefs to try to control others or judge others, focus on your own evolution instead. Focus on integrating your wisdom and becoming the best version that you can be in this lifetime. Trap number 4 has to do with what I just talked about, which is the trap of blindly trusting gurus. Giving your power away to someone who says that they know the ultimate truth, that they know everything that you should know. We need to be really discerning whenever we learn from other people. There are many amazing, beautiful teachers out there, but there are also some dangerous predators out there who are like in a cult-like institution that just want to take your money, that just want to use you for their own benefits and for their own cult-like ideology. And of course, falling for a guru is the worst case scenario. But there are also many teachers out there who just present their reality as truth, and you just need to be very discerning if what you hear from them, what you learn from them, is actually true to you as well. I personally have been learning from many teachers, and I won't stop doing that because I always want to be inspired, get inspired, and learn something new. But just because I like a teacher doesn't mean that I like everything that they say or talk about. I don't agree with every opinion or every value. Don't just take anything that someone else presents you as truth, as the ultimate truth. And I want you to be discerning at all times. Even what I just said, if this doesn't resonate with you, it's okay. Trap number 5 is isolating yourself after your own spiritual awakening, after your own spiritual growth journey, whenever you feel like you can't relate to the people in your life anymore. And like I already mentioned, sometimes this can be caused by an inflated ego because you now think that you're something better, that you know more than others. And sometimes it's just a byproduct or a bad symptom of the journey itself. Like whenever we grow, whenever we evolve as a person, whenever we do deep soul searching with ourselves, we ultimately cannot go back to a past version of ourselves that other people in our life used to know. It's just a matter of fact, it's reality, and it's a natural part of the process, even if it's not always easy. It can sometimes catapult us into a dark night of the soul when we don't understand anything at all anymore about ourselves, the world we live in, about our relationships, about anything in our life. But this is a necessary part of our transformation, even if it can be really painful. Deep spiritual growth often leads to losing relationships or not being able to identify with yourself anymore, with your old version of yourself. Like it's happened to me. I didn't even recognize myself anymore, and then I needed to take some time and be alone, be on my own, and just find out, who am I? What do I want? What should I do next? Like these essential questions whenever we feel really maybe even lost in life or disoriented. That's all a part of our spiritual journey, and it's a natural thing, so don't be afraid of that. The trap here is that we shouldn't close off ourselves entirely, which often can happen, and it can happen so easily. like we isolate ourselves and then we get totally used to the state of being. And this is really a bad thing, because we as human beings, we are dependent on other people. And let me explain. We are not dependent on like their validation or anything like that, but we are a social species. We are not meant to live life alone. Relationships in our human life are one of the biggest learning lessons for our soul. So when we isolate ourselves, this can be sometimes a really good thing, because sometimes we just need the time to find out who we are, where to go next, what to do. But then eventually we need to find ourselves back into, community and find our tribe. And even just setting the intention and getting into the frequency of wanting to find your tribe will set you up for actually be magnetizing to your people that are really meant for you to be in your life. And especially in our modern times, we have technology. It's easier than at any point in time to connect with other people from the other side of the world even. And of course, I know that this doesn't actually translate into physical human connection, but at least into finding your community, finding new friends, finding people who think the same, who have experienced the same, who also went through a spiritual awakening journey, who are maybe even on that journey that you can relate to, so that you can just talk about it with them. A spiritual awakening or a spiritual journey in general, even just a self-development journey, it requires you to let go of old parts of yourself. It is necessary to step into the unknown. It is necessary for you to be willing to grow, to face deep depths about yourself, about others, and the world in general. So just know that feeling disconnected from your loved ones, your family, your friends, your old tribe is a completely natural thing. And once you've done all of this soul searching and once you've experienced deep isolation, it is time to proactively set the intention to go out there again and to find your new tribe that actually aligns with your new values, that aligns with who you are at the core, with who you are becoming. And sometimes I see people avoiding making these changes. And this is when life gets really painful. They stay stuck in an old relationship that does no good for them, but it's comfortable. Like they don't dare to get out of their comfort zone. They don't dare to face the growth. They don't dare to face the depths of themselves, the world, their friends, whatever it is. But this will keep people stuck, and it will be so painful. And eventually the universe will just step in and make it all crumble for you. Because if you are not willing to evolve on your own, at some point the universe will make it so uncomfortable for you so that you just have to move. And we just don't want to get to that point, because it can be very, very painful. We want to make all of these necessary changes before such a big turning point happens. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, spirituality is not just about love and light. I will also talk about the light aspects at some points. But right now, I want you to know that it's completely fine to dive into your depths. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be scared of. It's a natural part of evolution. It's a natural part of life. And I promise you that the more you dare to face your own shadows and the dark sides of life, the more you will also be able to experience light and also shine your own light. The goal of a real spiritual journey is not to just bypass reality. It's about deep integration. It's about learning everything that you can and be discerning if what you just learned is your truth too. And then just work with that, roll with that, and trust the process. Go with the flow of things. Try not to control everything. Get out of your mind and get back into your body. I hope that this video resonated with you, that maybe you could even learn something, and I would love to know from you which of these traps resonated with you. Like, what did you already experience? Did you get caught up in such a trap before? I certainly have, and I have learned some lessons along the way, and that is perfectly normal for everyone. We are all just on this journey together on our own individual paths, but we can all learn from each other and grow together. Now don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'm looking forward to talking to you very soon again.